Good morning. It is the Sid, back from a little video hiatus, not a hiking hiatus, because we've been hiking almost every week, but the first time videoing for a while. We are just outside Boulder, and we're going to do Mount Sanitas via the Sunshine Trail, and we're starting from the Centennial Trailhead. And I say we because we have the lawman with me, and we are getting ready to do a mid-January hike, 7.7 miles and about 1,400 feet of elevation gain, and it's a beautiful sunny day for January. You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So coming out of the parking lot trailhead, we're taking an immediate right-hand turn. There's a lot of trails in this area, and we're going to be on the Sunshine Canyon Trail. Well, the first part of this hike, we are really sort of urban hiking along the road that we came out of Boulder into the trailhead from. You can see it down below. Well, we're approaching 1.25 miles in from the parking lot, and we're still paralleling the road, so we haven't begun to really get back into the backcountry part of this hike yet. But the trail is mostly dry, especially for this time of year, and not really terribly icy. A few little patches, but so far so good. So we have come to private property. We're actually heading across the road, and Mount Sanitas and our trail is on the other side of the road from where we started. So we started at Centennial. We have reached this point, crossed the road. We're going to go past Lion's Lair and hit Mount Sanitas, and then there's several different loops back to Centennial that we have that we could choose from. So I guess we'll decide once we get up there which way we want to go. Well, we're approaching 2 3/4 mile in, and the trail has steadily gone up in a nice switchbacking kind of way, and we're just making our way up to the top. But a beautiful, almost groomed trail. We are in the minority today. There has been a dozen trail runners, and I think we and one other guy may be the only hikers out here. So the trail is nicely groomed enough to allow for easy trail running. Well, after about 3 miles of now zigzagging up our hill, we're starting to crest this particular hill, but I know that we have some more climbing to do, so Mount Sanitas sits back where we can't see it. I think Mount Sanitas is over there somewhere. According to our All Trails map, we're gonna hook to our right, and shouldn't be a whole lot more elevation gain between here and there, but we shall see. We can see some bigger mountains in the back, snow covered. Nice valley down below us. We're working our way up to the top of Mount Sanitas, and then we're going to drop down on the other side. Starting to get into some nice big boulders up here at the top. We're sort of walking across the ridge right now, looking for the high point, and I feel confident we're going to find it here before too long. We are overlooking Boulder, Colorado, and I think the high point is up ahead of us, but get an awfully nice view from where we are, and I'm sure there'll be great views up there. We've been traversing for a while. We're now at the intersection of the trails that we're probably going to be taking back, but we're going to go up and take a look at this viewpoint from up here. Great view into the valley. So from the summit, there's three ways that we can go back. We could go back the way we came, which is Lion's Lair. We could go back straight back on that trail that I showed you before we summited, or we can go down this one, which kind of winds a little bit, curves a little bit, gives us more of a view out to the east, which is what we're going to opt for. Get a few more extra miles in. So that's where we're headed, but they all end up back at the same parking lot. Well, the first 100 yards or so is a little sketchier than we've been on, but once we get past this, we've heard that the trail just smooths out. So we're off the steeper, sketchier part, but we've come to kind of an interesting path through the rocks. The moss up on the rock. Pretty cool. So we're not quite done with our bouldering adventure. We have a little scramble to do here. Well, we've climbed down from the summit, into the valley, and you can start to see these massive houses. We see Boulder right in the distance. So these are all pretty big houses out in the suburbs here. All right, here's a good map that shows we came up Lion's Lair and hit Sanitas. And then we could have come straight down back to our parking lot, but we went over the ridge, and we are now going to curve our way, all ending up back at the same parking lot that we started at, because we did this part already. Well, we've gone from one extreme to the other, coming over the top of Sanitas and the ridge. We had a quarter of a mile to half a mile of rocky, sort of steep, tricky, to now a gravel road. I don't know if this goes all the way back, but pretty easy walking for a while. And Lawman, what do you think of this weather in mid-January?
Pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Yeah, we're kind of living large, huh?
Yeah.
And we didn't have any real ice or snow to speak of on the trail today. That's always nice. One of the nice things about the area that we're in, just outside of Boulder, there are dozens and dozens of trails and many different trailheads to create all kinds of different loops. And one of the prominent ones around here is called Chautauqua, and you might look that up if you're interested in a bunch of really good trails in the area called the Flatirons, which is a really scenic, rocky kind of outcropping that's very prominent when you look from the valley. So we are winding our way down the very long road and going to cross the road eventually to get back to our parking lot. So instead of the 7.7 out and back, we are going to get just about 6 miles and call it 1,200 feet of elevation gain. So a nice day, nice trip. Lawman, before we hit the parking lot, what do you think? What'd you think of the trail?
Good.
Yeah, we got a little bit of elevation gain today, and that always helps. And didn't stumble or fall too badly, so
Easy parking.
easy parking. Now we'll look for a road Pepsi on the way home, maybe. So until the next time, the Sid and the Lawman out.